Okay, so the false card you have you passed is the Knight of Swords. Okay. This is really irritating. I feel really irritated, not so much angry, but it's like I'm getting this really annoyed feeling, really annoyed feeling. That's what I'm getting here. It's a little bit like out of sight, out of mind, but in a bad way. So it was like you had someone on your mind, but it wasn't because you were missing them. They just kind of came into your mind and you were angry with them or unhappy with them or something, and you were thinking, oh, they did that thing or they did that, and I'm really annoyed. It's kind of like that. Now, they're definitely out of your life, or they were at this time, and they are now, I think, still. Totally out of your life. You know, you have no intention of seeing them or talking to them or being near them or anything like that. For some reason, the things they were saying and doing, they weren't just popping into your mind. I think they're also popping up in front of you in some way to remind you of them. So it was like, I don't know whether this was on social media, it might have been, or something like that. They were popping up in your head, or reminders of them were popping up around you. And then you're thinking about it again, going, oh, I'm really angry. And then even when they weren't, they were coming up in your mind again. So, I think you probably minimize the chances of seeing them or coming into contact with them in person or anything like that. But they kept on popping up. I don't know if you saw their name or their picture, things were reminding you of them, and then they're in your mind all the time. I don't think they're famous. I don't think that was why. Maybe they are. But it just feels like, oh, why do they keep on popping up in front of my face? Why do they keep on popping up in my mind? Get them out. That's kind of what I'm getting. So I think if they did actually try to contact you, you'd probably feel a little bit like this knight, actually. Stubby, if that's a word. So yeah, you don't want to see them. You absolutely do not. You absolutely don't. But they were in your mind still, and you were very angry, going through what they'd said, what they'd done. Things popped up, I think, and then that's made this pop up in your head, and then it kind of stayed there. That's kind of what I'm getting. And okay, you probably don't want to hear this, but if you do have very intense feelings for someone, whether that's deep feelings in love, sorry about that noise, or deep feelings in anger, doesn't matter what it is. If you have deep feelings, you still have you still have some thoughts about them. You still have feelings about them. You still have to work through things to kind of try to get them out of your system, if that's what you want to do. And I think you do. So, if you're holding on to this anger, you really need to try to find some way to let it go, because it's not good. You don't want to feel like that. I'm seeing that here. So, and you don't want them to have control over your mind, even if they don't mean to. If they're in your mind all the time and you want them out of your mind, it's like they're controlling you. They're there. So, I just, don't be angry with me. I just don't stab me either. But I just want you to get to the point where you can see them, you can hear them or whatever, and you just feel nothing. You just feel nothing. And that's when you're going to be free. When you get to that point, you're going to be free. That's what I'm trying to say. So, you could try things like, I don't know, these are just ideas. You can try things like meditating. Writing your feelings down is a really good one. Automatic writing is really good. Just getting everything out. Doesn't matter what it is that you're writing. Doesn't matter if it makes sense. Doesn't matter if you write, I don't know why I'm writing this. Anything. Just get it out. Get it on the page. That might help. That's just a suggestion. I don't know. You might have other ones. But you've got to get this out of your system. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so the next card you passed the Fool. Okay, this is good. This is looking really good. I think there's something you started. I think you started doing this a while ago. And it feels like a really big thing. It's almost like the biggest thing you've ever done, actually. Not in terms of money, making money or whatever, big volumes of things or something. It's not like you've designed a big building, but it's more like in terms of your independence, in terms of, I've done this myself, I'm really strong, I can do this. You've never had that kind of feeling around anything else before. That's what I'm getting. There's a little bit of opposition here as well, or there was at this time. Yeah, definitely when you started this, there was some opposition or someone kind of turning their nose up or looking sideways at what you're doing. It's something like that, a little bit of opposition. So I'm also seeing something about your location. So it might be that, you might be in an area where this thing that you're doing is quite unusual or strange for the area or something. And yeah, I think you might have hidden this from people actually, or at least you weren't being very vocal. Might just be that it's not like you're hiding it, but you weren't kind of speaking out about it. And it's kind of feels a little bit like this. I don't know if this is going to make sense for you, to you. It's kind of like, haha, I'm doing this little thing and they don't know I'm doing this. And if they only knew, it's kind of that kind of thing. And you're kind of smiling inside because you knew you were doing this thing and other people didn't know. So it's a little bit like that. So I think you kind of liked this, keeping a bit quiet, if that makes sense. So, you're not doing anything bad. It's just, maybe people in the circles that you're in might, think it was a bit strange or something. And, and then they might start talking and, and I think you really just wanted to do this without the talk and the gossip and whatever that comes with it. I think you will be a little bit more open about this in the future because, whatever this is, it is going to get bigger. It is going to be a lot more successful than it is now, I think. And I think it'll probably get to the point where it'll just stand by itself, if that makes sense. And, as time goes on, I think you'll just feel a lot more relaxed about this. And I think people's perceptions of this are just going to, they're not going to bother you as much. And, it's not like you're thinking, oh, what do people think of me? I'm really worried. There's a little bit of that, but it's more like, do I really need this energy or this negative energy around this? Do I need this around me? Do I have to deal with all these questions? Should I have to deal with this? There's a lot of questions, maybe even ignorant questions. Do I need that? No, you don't. The answer is no, you don't. So I think that's why as well. But yeah, you will be more open with this as time goes on, and I think that's just going to happen naturally. I don't think you're going to say, oh, I'm going to talk about this now. It's not like that. It's just going to gradually happen. So that's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the last card you have your past is the Ten of Cups. This is a beautiful card. Okay, so yeah. Okay, there's a close-knit family. I'm seeing a very close-knit family. They're all around you. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean this is a traditional family. It doesn't have to be that at all. This is about the feeling of family. So, and that can come in the form of close friends or just any kind of loved ones that are around you where you just feel loved unconditionally. So that's what family is. Doesn't matter who it is. Could be a pet. It could be a group of people. Could be friends. Anyone that you feel very, very close to, very, very safe with. That's what I'm getting. So I just felt as if I had to say that because I don't think you're the most traditional person or the most conventional person. But anyway, I think as you grow this thing, this project, whatever this is in the Fool card, firstly, it's very, very personal to you. So I think these people who love you, they're there to support you in that. And the feeling I'm getting is that you can just be yourself around these people and you can share this thing with them. So you're keeping it quiet in other areas, but around them, you're quite open. You can share this with these particular people. So yeah, it feels a bit like a creative thing to me. I don't know why. It might not be, but it feels like that to me because of all these comments. It's like, for example, if it's like when someone makes a piece of contemporary art and a lot of people don't really understand it, so they ask questions, lots of questions come, and that's fine. But then, sometimes laughing comes after that, sneering, and then ignorant comments and things that come after that. So it might not be like that, but that's what it made me think of, because I was thinking, because I was seeing you kind of hiding this or not talking about this, being a bit quiet, and you wanted to shelter it from these kind of comments. So I don't know if it's something like that or not, but it does feel creative as well. And I think the feeling I'm getting is, if you have these people around you, which I think you do in the Ten of Cups, kind of supporting you, it just feels like having a secure base or a secure foundation around you or underneath you. And, that's quite rare actually, because sadly in this world, not many people have that. So if this resonates, you're very fortunate. And just make sure they know you appreciate them. They probably do know that, but you can never show that too many times to these people who are very, very close to you. So, make note of that as well. Go and talk to them, go and hug them or whatever if you want to. You have a very, very special relationship with someone, some people, very, very close to you, very, very beautiful. I love that. So, okay, so the first card you have your presence, the World. Okay, this is interesting actually. Yeah, there are a few things here. Okay. There's huge potential here. That's to start with. There's a lot of work in front of you. I can see that. All right, so I'll just put that aside. The first thing is, I'm just looking at this and the Two of Cups together. So I'll talk about them together. Okay. All right, I don't know whether to caution you or not, or whether to say go for it or whatever, but what I'm seeing is there's someone you know really well. I think you're really close. You're probably really good friends with them, or you have some kind of really close conversations with them. You have some really interesting conversations with them, actually. Yeah, I think this is a friend. It's someone you've known for a long time. You definitely know them in a kind of platonic way, for a friendship. And there's this closeness that I'm seeing. It's almost like closeness on an intellectual level. I'm just seeing you being really sort of engrossed in some of these really interesting conversations and debates as well. You have debates. It's like you can disagree on things, but it's kind of fun to disagree on things with this person. It feels fun. You don't fall out. You just enjoy having these conversations. So if you look at this caduceus in the middle of these cups in the Two of Cups, it looks a little bit like DNA. And I think that's how close you feel when you're talking to them, that you're super, super close to them. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know whether this is a warning or not, but I'll tell you. So I think you might come into a situation where they want to take things further, or maybe you do. I can't see who's going to instigate this, but when you have the World card, sometimes it can mean, that things start and then they're over quickly. So if this is love, if this is a love connection, and they're asking, if it's a friendship, say, and they're asking for more, sorry, I should say a friendship, because that's what I was seeing. So a friendship, and they're kind of asking for more from a friend, and they want it to turn into more. And because you've got the World card, it can mean they come in, it turns into more, and then they disappear again, or they go back again, backwards and forwards. So, it's like something that doesn't last. It's like it's over before it starts. That's kind of what I'm getting. So I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but if this is a friend, this is a a risk to this friendship, because if things start and stop quickly, which is what I'm seeing here, firstly, it might make things very awkward, and the whole friendship might change, the whole dynamic can change. And also, if they do go forwards and back again, if they disappear or whatever, then you're kind of left heartbroken, and you've also lost a friend. So there's a risk of that as well. I'm not saying any of these things are going to happen once again, but I'm just looking at all these different risks, and I'm seeing a lot of caution here. So I have to say that if that's what I'm seeing. So, okay, I know it's getting a bit mixed up, but I hope that makes sense. And yeah, I just wanted to give you that warning if you think this is about you. So yeah, big thing there. This is like a friendship, and you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose that friendship, because it's very important to you, because I'm seeing you have all these amazing conversations and you feel really close as a friend. My feeling is I don't think you want it to go further, but I don't know. You might. Okay, anyway. The other thing here is, it's just a small thing. You have a lot of work in front of you, a huge amount of work that's coming up in front of you. So you have this success coming up, but it brings a lot of work with it. That's what I'm seeing. So, and there's work that could be quite draining actually, so as well. So just be careful, pace yourself, take lots of breaks, don't take on too much. Be very careful not to take on too much, because I can see this big thing coming up, or this big time in your life coming up where there's a lot of work there. So just be very careful. Don't overload yourself. Don't overload yourself. Okay. The last card you have your presence, the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah, I think this is really following on from what I was seeing in the World card with all this work. Okay, so yeah, again, there's a lot of success here. It's going to gradually build up, and I'm seeing winding. It's winding up. You might be winding up to the point where you've just got so much work you don't want to do. And I'm also seeing winding as in winding yourself up really, really tightly with a lot of stress. I'm seeing that as well. I'm seeing winding because I'm looking at this Two of Pentacles, and it actually looks like one of those old toys that you wind up, you know, with a thing that you're turning around. That's what the Two of Pentacles looks like in that card. So yeah, so winding. So just be careful not to wind yourself up so much with work, because if you wind things too far, if you put the pressure too far, it can break and then you can't go at all. So if you wind yourself up to the point where you just got so much work and you're exhausted and you have to go to bed, then you can't do anything. So wind yourself up a little bit, do a bit of work, then stop, then wind it up again and then stop. That's what I'm seeing. Also, don't overload yourself so much that you know, you're working without any breaks. And then this thing that you really used to love, because I think this is about this project, and you used to love, that's in the Fool card. So, you know, it's something that you love, you absolutely love, you're very passionate about, and you want to keep that passion around it. You don't want to turn it into a drudge or something you hate. So there's a risk of that as well. So just be very careful about that. And yeah, just be careful about overworking yourself, feeling wound up, feeling stressed. It's not good. Don't feel like that. Keep your passion, keep the Fool feeling. Don't turn it into I'm exhausted feeling. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the King of Wands. Yeah, I keep on seeing you as this really focused, really, really busy person. So I think what's happening here is you've come from the Two of Pentacles where you're really wound up, really, really busy. There's a lot of caution where you have to kind of pace yourself, don't overload yourself. And I think what's happening in the King of Wands is I don't think you're physically overloading yourself with work, but I think what you might be doing at this time is overloading your brain. And I think what I mean by that is, I think you started this as something really fun, really interesting in the Fool card, and your passion was there, you wanted to do this. It's like, I can just, you know, I don't care what happens, I'm just going to try this, I'm just going to have fun with this, I'm just going to go with the flow, see what happens, whatever. And I think as time's gone on and things got more complicated, things got more serious as you went on, it felt more serious to you. And I think now in this future time, it's feeling very serious. I'm seeing there's a lot of, not just criticism, but people advising you, telling you things. And I think you might be at the point where it's kind of analysis paralysis, if that makes sense. So you're kind of sitting there like this king. He wants to move, but he's not moving because he can't, because he's got his brain turning around and around and around. And if you look behind his head, there's a lizard turning around and around, and that's what his brain's doing. It's turning around and around. And you're kind of going to be sitting there paralyzed, going, oh, what will I do? You know, if I do that, people won't like that. If I do that, they won't like that. Help, what can I do? I want to do the right thing. The right thing, this is what this is telling you. The right thing isn't what anyone says. The right thing is what you think inside yourself. So what this is telling me is, if you're feeling stuck, if you're getting like that, if you're so stuck that you just don't know what to do, you're paralyzed, Try to think back to how you felt when you're in the fool mode. I'm not saying throw your responsibilities up in the air and run away and be a fool. I'm not saying that. This is about a feeling. It's about a mindset. Getting back into that feeling again. Freeing yourself up again. I think once... one thing I'm picking up on is... all these words, all these talk, all this advice and everything. I keep on seeing that. Lots of people talking, telling you what to do. There's nothing wrong with listening to advice, but this is your life. These are your decisions. So try to get back into the feeling of the fool, going with your own flow, using your own instincts. And I think if you do that, things will just feel a lot freer, a lot more flowing for you, and just more natural. Like the fool, just natural. It's like, I'm just here, I just do whatever I want, it doesn't matter what people think. So, and I think when you turn more like that, when you're more like that, you'll just be able to make all of these decisions that you need, and you won't worry about them so much because you'll just feel free about them. You'll just say, doesn't matter if I make the wrong decision. Okay, I'm just going to go with what I feel. I think we should do that. That's what you're going to be like, and I think that's a really good way to be. I think that's how you have to get back to being. I hope that makes sense to someone, because it's a little bit complicated. I hope that made sense. Okay, so the next card you have your features the High Priestess. Okay, I think this is what this is telling you. All your answers, everything you're looking for in terms of this project, what to do with this, and other things as well, they're inside you. And again, back to when you started this, back to when you're in this full mode, you're tapped into that, you're tapped into that energy, you're tapped into yourself. That's what you need to find again. You need to find your true self in there again. And this all has to come from you. So you've got to go back to that again. You've got to follow your instincts, not what people are telling you, not what you're worried about, what you're doing, not how you look, not, how you sound, any of that stuff. All you've got to do is go inside yourself, find what you want to do, and then just make a decision and then do that. Just really, really trust your instincts and go with that. That's what the High Priestess is telling you. That's all I need to really say, because it's really following on from that. Okay, so the last card you have your features the Knight of Wands. Okay, I'm just looking at this and the High Priestess together, actually. And what this is showing me is that I think you'll probably either say no to this friend who wants to go further, or you'll probably just decide that it isn't the right thing for you. Now, I don't know what stage this is going to get to, but I think what's probably going to happen is you'll just see this coming. You'll just sense this when it comes. And I think then you'll just probably realise, that, this is going to be an in and out thing, and it's just not going to last as a love connection. So I think you're going to realise that before it actually happens, even maybe when they're having a conversation with you or something, you're going to realise, it's like you're going to have this sense, I can sense this is going to happen. I can see it's not going where I want it to go. And, I think also the High Priestess can also represent this kind of unobtainable woman who's kind of up there somewhere. So I'm not saying you're aloof or standoffish, but it is showing me that you'll probably go a bit cool on this, or you'll go cold on this. That's what I'm seeing there. So there is going to be some awkwardness around this. I won't pretend there isn't. I think things will eventually get back to not normal. I don't think they'll be back to the way they used to be, but you'll be able to talk again, and things will feel a lot easier between you again as time goes on. But they are going to be awkward. You're not going to lose this person. You're not going to lose this person as a friend. I'm not seeing that. But things are definitely going to feel different between you. Absolutely. I'm not going to pretend they won't.